Hey guys, welcome to this week's deck study. I have a relatively new deck to show you guys today. It's only been out for 3 weeks, I do believe, and it's from Big Blind Media, who, for those of you who don't know, produces the Carnival decks as well as other ones as well. Before I get to that, just a quick few news and notes. If you guys have been following me on Facebook, you guys know that on Wednesday, Illusionist is releasing a new deck called Republic 2. It's a really cool looking deck so far from this pics I've seen of it. So I will have that as soon as possible. I don't know if I'm going to have it by next Monday or not. It's going to probably be pushing it, but that will be coming in very soon. It is a borderless deck, and the indices and pips are very small on the faces. So again, from all I've seen of it, it looks really cool. So I'll have that for you guys as soon as possible. But back to this week. This week's deck study is going to be on the Discoverie deck, like I said, from Big Blind Media, and this deck is in homage to the book, The Discovery of Witchcraft, which was written and published by an Englishman named Reginald Scot in the year 1584. And what the purpose of this book was when he wrote it was to inform people that magicians weren't witches; they were actually performers. And he writes very detailed notes of gimmicks and card sleights and things like that in the book. And some of the illustrations from the book are in the deck. It's really cool, which I'll go through more in detail when we open it up. But the box itself is made to look like a book. As you can see, the binding on the side, and it's made to look very old on the box cover. And again, the binding with the symbol on the side. The one side just says Discoverie deck on it, if you can pick that up. It's kind of faint in there. It's hard to read, but it's in there. So it's Discoverie deck. The bottom is just legalese. The other side looks like pages, frayed, very old frayed pages on the top and bottom. So that's the box. It's pretty plain. The back, again, you can see the other side of the binding from the book. So that's the thematic around the design concept of the box, which is really cool. The design work in this deck is really neat. And again, we'll get into that in a minute. But pretty basic box. Black seal, United States Playing Card Company seal, which is black. There are no reveals on the flap or the flaps here as well. Let's get into the cards, because I want to spend a little more time on those than the box. So the back design, again, is really simple. I don't want to call it ugly, but it's made to look old, like an old book. So you can see the bindings in the corners are there. You can see they're all angled on the sides. And the way these markings are done makes for a one-way back design. As you can see, the big thing that stands out here is this frayed corner right here. So as you can see, it's in all the corners. So if you have, if you're performing with this deck, you can definitely use it to your advantage. If one card's turned, all the one ways will have that white corner when one will not. And the other thing that I noticed with the pattern at the top, how it's worn here, and it's a little more white on the one side. If you spread this way, I don't know if you'll be able to pick that up or not. You can kind of see the stripe down the middle right here. And if one card was flipped this way, you can definitely pick. It's a lot more white on this side. I don't know if you guys can even see that, but up close you can definitely pick it out. Sorry, the camera's not picking it up very well, but I really haven't ever seen anyone spread the cards like that, but it's one thing I did notice. And obviously if you spread them this way, the white corner will be your biggest clue as far as picking out a spectator's card with the one-way back design. So that's one element. There's another marking on the faces of the cards that will give you an advantage as well. We'll get into that when we flip them over. But first, It doesn't come with any gaff cards. It comes with a few information, actually one information card and one kind of other one. What I'll show you here. Here's which just gives you a very, very brief summation of the book, the Discovery of Witchcraft, and again it tells you that's the earliest form of magic, and it gives you a web address down at the bottom. I went there to try to get more information. The website is not active as of yet, or it's just not loading. There is some kind of issue with it there. And again, one thing I wanted to notice, that the last sentence of this card says, just like the first, Discovery, and like the book, there's wisdom hidden between the lines. So that's an important element I want to show you here in a second when I show you the cards as well. So remember that, hidden between the lines, because there's sayings on the cards, if you put them together, will make like a sentence. So there's the first card you get with the deck, more of an informational, not really having to do with anything. And here's the other one you get, which says the Discovery of Witchcraft with a picture on it. And what this picture is a gimmick that Reginald Scot talks about. It's called the Decollation of John the Baptist, which is a beheading performance. Which you guys don't know, that John the Baptist in the Bible was hunted down by Herod the Great and was beheaded because he was consorting with Jesus. So there's your quick history lesson for the day. But what this trick is it's a table with two holes cut in it, which you can see here, which would lay flat. So you'd have the body with someone's head going in this hole, showing that he would be headless. And there's a man under the table sitting with his head coming up onto a platter. And you can show the head on this side and the body on this side. And it's a gimmicked table with a table cover over it. So again, that's one of the gimmicked images right from the book on this first card here. So there's that. Now let me show you the two jokers, which again, these are the two jokers right here. And again, these are magicians' gimmicks that are used. This first one is a gimmick used to thread a needle through your nose, so it can go from one side to the other. Looking at it, I'm not exactly sure how it works, but I know that is the gimmick used. I'm guessing you put this contraption over your nose and you can pull a thread from one side to the other, making it look like it's going through your nostrils. So there's the first one. The second one is a thing of 3 picks, which again are knifed or picked gimmicks. The first one, you can see how the blade would sit over your arm to make it look like it's puncturing right through your arm. I'm sure you've seen little plastic ones like that for Halloween and things like that. But that's the first one. The second one is a retractable blade, so you could push it right into your eye or into your skin or heart, and the blade would retract in, making it look like it's actually going into your body. And the third one is your standard plain pick, which would be used in a switch, or to show that it's a real knife and there's nothing dodgy going on with the effect. So there's your second joker. So again, early forms of magic in the Book of Witchcraft used for the jokers, which is a really cool touch. I think they're really neat. If you research it, it's a really neat design concept that I thought was really cool. So there's that. Now let me show you the aces, which are right here. There's no difference between the aces. They're all large pipped, which I really like. I like that. I wish all decks would have really large pips for all the aces, but I understand the ace of spades has to stand out a little bit. So, and there's a saying on each of the cards. And again, this says, if you play among, and the next one says, strangers beware of. The next one says, him that seems. The next one says, simple or drunken. So again, if you line them all up together, I kind of had to play with the order because they did come out of order in the deck. If you just line them up in order and read them as a sentence, it would say, let me see here, where I got them out of order. If you play among strangers, beware of him that seems simple or drunken. So that would be the sentence, and that refers to the hidden between the lines reference from the first card, I believe. It made the most sense to me. As you can see on the deck, the text is very faint. You obviously can't read it. I'm assuming it's right from the book, but it's very faint, which is good. It doesn't block. It doesn't take away from the images on the cards themselves, which I like. If you remember from the Genesis deck, they had text on the back of the card, which was a little more bold, which I think really took away from the actual cards themselves. So those are your aces. Let's look at some of the cards themselves, specifically the 2s and 4s, as you can see here. The 2s and 4s all come with those same images from the book. This is the one I've already described. This is a different one, but again, it's the same concept with knives, showing how you could use it in a gimmick trick. Putting the knife over your arm, pretending like you're actually cutting right into your arm. The other one, which you can show putting over your arm, and the other one's obviously your standard one, which you use for switches and things like that. Other than that, they're fairly standard spot cards. The face cards I'm not a fan of. They're really orange, and they're a deep burnt orange. I really don't like that color a whole lot. So they seem a little muted and blended together, but they're not terrible. They're okay. But unfortunately, with the red ones, if you guys know or done any work with color before, red and orange aren't your best colors to mix, and it just seems really, I don't know, they seem like they're way too blended together, and the color combinations don't work for me as well. But there's enough black in there that it makes it tolerable. As you can see, the black ones are a lot better than the red ones, as you can see there. And again, you can see, I'll show you the clubs here. The 4 have the knife gimmick. The 2's got the thread through the nose gimmick on it. Right there. There's your hearts. So there is, again, there's your 2 of hearts, and I'll show you the 4, which is the same. Yeah, you got the 3 out of order. So that is your Discoverie deck from Big Blind. Again, it's the back design I don't like. I'm not a fan of. The face cards, the colors kind of blend together with the red and the orange, which is a small drawback. But all in all, it's a really nice deck. Oh, real quick, I told you I'd show you out the one-way part on the face of the card. See, there's a black spot right there. That is on all the cards. And it's only on this side, it's not on this side. So again, if you had one card turned, it would not have the spot there. So if you're thumbing through the cards, you can really find your spectator's cards really fast. As you can see right there, let me just zoom in again. You can see it there, you see it there, you see it there. Even on the face cards, it's right there and not on the other side. So there's your one-way design aspect on the face of the cards. Card quality, it's a nice quality. It feels more like a B stock. It's a little stiffer, so it's harder to break in. I just opened it the other day. I really haven't broken it in fully yet, but it feels like a little thicker than your regular bicycle card. But it doesn't say anything on the finish. I don't know if it's a cambric finish. I'm assuming it might be. It's definitely a thicker card stock than your normal B card, though, so I'm assuming it's a B stock, which would have a cambric finish on it, but not positive, so I don't want to say for sure either way. But again, it handles really nice. The fanning is really cool with the dark color, and even this way. Looks like you get a pretty good fan there. So nice quality. It's a really nice deck, especially for collectors and for fans of Magic who like the history and things like that. That is the Discoverie deck. Really cool. Check it out. Again, it's only 3 weeks release, so it's relatively new yet. I hope you guys like it. And again, I'm not sure if I'm going to have the Republics in for next week. If I do, it'll definitely be the study for next week. If not, I'll have something else for you guys. Have a great day, and I'll have something new up for tomorrow, and we'll see you later. See you out there. Bye.